So, who made the Master and Porcelain? Ha ha, Vernon Ray. Well, you came to the right place. First of all, I just want to make clear, and Master does not get much love from within the slave pit. The Master was a product of Dave Brockie basically giving advice over Matt McGuire's shoulders. Matt McGuire did his best. This reminds you of what happens in movies, right? Where you're making modifications while the thing is in progress. Instead of arriving at a design and then just sticking to it like you saw the flesh column, right? So I still have that. There we go. Flesh column. There it is. In foam. Flesh column. Oh, shit. It doesn't get any bigger than that. I hate this fucking thing. Anyways. There's the flesh column right there. Design made in foam. And then as you saw up here, you see that this is the pencil. Same thing, basically. Oh, all right. The Master was based on... First of all, the Master was only referenced when described physically in the... How should we say it? In GWAR canon, it was simply Dave describing it in an interview. A lot of some... I don't say a lot, but definitely some characters were essentially... creations of Dave's improv interview sessions. That's where World Maggot came from. You know, he would sit there and talk about how that was GWAR's goal, is to raise, you know, feed it with enough bodies and souls to raise the World Maggot, and then they would fly off back into space. You know, it was just something he kind of ad-libbed in an interview. And so the Master initially, as a joke, was Master looked like Planter's Peanut, the Peanut Man, Planter's Peanut Man, ha ha ha. That's what the Master was, right? And obviously, once we decided that we were going to explore the character, the Master, on stage. You know, we knew that we weren't going to do Planter's Peanut, right? That wasn't going to work. So this thing evolved. It was a kind of a back and forth. It had a kind of a peanut-shaped sort of. It seemed like it did have a peanut-shaped influence. GWAR the Master. Let's see. See if we can get some images. And so anyways, during the concepting of this thing, Dave insisted he wanted GWAR members, or excuse me, he wanted to be able to be eaten by it and then birthed out of its anus. He would be resurrected. He was obsessed with that. He had a concept band where he wanted to have sort of the same thing, some sort of birthing scene, right? And you know, take a look at fucking Odorous' costume, all right, and then take a look at what it would take to make a costume that big, where Odorous could go through a mouth and then come out an anus. Visualize that. The guy's got goddamn, you know, 2.5 foot spears on each shoulder. That alone makes that entrance and exit holes just immense. I mean, it's just a nightmare. It's like, you know, I was not heavily involved in GWAR at that point. I was sort of on strike a little bit, and I knew that was a joke. That was never going to happen, you know. I don't know if I bothered. I probably told Matt behind the scenes. He dropped that. That's not going to happen. Which it was. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was dropped. And so basically, this was the next best thing. You ended up kind of, it's sort of peanut shaped, I guess, right? You know, but no, it was no GWAR. No GWAR 3 or 2 built by. There's GWAR 3. Built by you know who. Look at that. What a beaut. What a fucking beaut. Sin's the better master. I built that one too. Just saying. I did the body and head. Hunter and Matt did the arms and legs. So it is a co-op. But I did the head and the body. Let's take a look. Let's all bask in former glory together. And then I'll stop being a dick, and I will, I will look at the super chats that I missed. Here we go. Here's a good version of them, it looks like. So, yeah. Hunter and Matt did these guys out of fiberglass. I did the upper body out of fiberglass and the arms here. All right. Incorporating, I don't know. You know, that's where going to art school helps. You draw influences from things like, Byzantine type, iconography in helping you design something like this. But this character, as far as I know, I'm just going to say, because I want to give credit out to where credit is due. This character initially was created by Mike Delaney, who was the original Sexecutioner. He's the original Sexecutioner, which evolved into the Executioner. But that was Mike Delaney, and what he did is he got a road cone. Just found a road cone. That's what we were all into. It was appropriation. We were doing art by appropriation. We were taking it was found art appropriation is what it was, which was hip and cool, basically because it was Dadaism. It was Dadaism, like turning a bicycle seat into a bull's head. He took a road cone and painted it, and suddenly it had this, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically a Ku Klux Klan reference. Anytime you see a pointed head, right, it has this very authoritarian, image to it, right? And so then Hunter came along, and he had developed the idea further. He came up with it being kind of these ultra-orthodox kind of, like, shall we say, if you said it in gaming, you would say they were, what is it called? Lawful good or chaotic good? Maybe more chaotic good. But anyways, Cardinal Sin's body was powered by the purity of baby souls, right? Baby souls. What are they? Is this capsule? Well, I'll get to that later. Because that sounds like Jucifer. But, anyways, yeah. This is really our pot shot, probably, at Catholicism. If ain't nothing else, it was Christianity in general. Or shall we say, the abuse thereof. Right? But yeah, Hunter's favorite line was, I guess it was Granbo. It's like, we must protect you from the evil. We dare not let you make that choice yourself. That sort of attitude. And this character epitomized that the whole thing, the nuns and all that. But yeah, I built this out of fiberglass. This was all clay, and this, I believe, this was cardboard. This was cardboard, and then it was fiberglassed over. And this was cut out, probably polypropylene, sheet probably polypropylene, which was good because it's not gonna break. It's gonna bend and won't break. Polypropylene, polyethylene, we used a lot of that kind of plastic, and we needed stuff that was basically gonna stick out and not break. And yeah, hot nuns. Thank you very much, says Boozy3050. I love the hot nuns too. We didn't have enough hot nuns. But the lead hot nun in the Cardinal Sin video was became the wife of the first GWAR guitarist, which was Cornelius Carnage, a.k.a. Greg Ottinger. So, small world, right? Anyways, yeah, this is polypropylene, but this is fiberglass reinforced or fiberglass covered cardboard. You know, cardboard is great. Once you learn to flute it by cutting slits in it, you can do amazing things with it. You can curve it perfectly. You know, that's the secret. Like, I would take cardboard and I'd put slits in it that radiated in width, you know, and then I could get this conical shape, you know. Anyways, the rest is, you know, this was clay. This was a clay, and then there was a urethane rubber mold, and then fiberglass inside of that. Cast that. Wish I could see the back, but there it goes. Have I lost all my concurrence yet with all this GWAR fucking endless trivia? Look at him. He's a great character, though. He really is. He's a lot of fun. I think he's heavily influenced by AD 2000 Nemesis. Let's look him up. Give it to me. There it is. 2000 AD Nemesis. So I don't have to type anymore. It's embarrassing. We were big into AD 2000. You know, in a way, this reminds me more of Jucifer, to tell you the truth. But the character himself and his motivations remind you of Cardinal Sin. He's like chaotic good, I guess you would call him, you know. Let's see here. Just get rid of that. Yeah. There he is. There he is. The Terror Tube. So, oh, is it Torquemada? I'm mistaken. Nemesis would go up against this guy called Torquemada, I think. Yeah, Torquemada. 82000. There you go. Sorry, I fucking I let my comic book nerdum slip, and I look stupid. Right? Let's go through it all. Why not? 82,000. Well, where did Cardinal Sin come from? I'll tell you where he came from. So there's Mean Machine. And Hunter, right? Hunter's Techno Destructo is Mean Machine. In fact, and I remember this, he dumped this idea, but he had this same skull cap. Except what he had was one eye was a red tail light. It was a red tail light bulb. That's what he had. I think he was going to make it glow. But, yeah. He took the Mean Machine and basically based Techno Destructo off of that. Alright, one mechanical arm, one human arm. Real stupid and aggressive. Crazy. There he is. But we were pouring over AD 2000 comics at the time. Let that be known. I'm laying it all out here now, folks. We were plagiarists. Complete and utter plagiarists. Nobody ever plagiarized us, though. GWAR comes along. And, you know, suddenly within 20 years, there's 8,000 mask bands. So nobody ever plagiarized us, but we were plagiarizing this. All right. Let's go. More plagiarism. Here's my plagiarism right here. Let's go. Kirby, my hero. Yeah, I was pouring through a compendium of Kirby, and I came across this helmet, and I said, Beefcake the Mighty. It wasn't a Beefcake. There wasn't a Beefcake the Mighty yet, because Beefcake was the nickname of a bass player playing for the Guilty, which was a Hopewell punk rock band, and you know he became GWAR's. Yeah, so I didn't come up with a name, obviously, because there's a punk rock kid named Mike Bishop who's also went by Beefcake. So it became Beefcake the Mighty. But I'm pouring through Kirby Compendium and Comic Compendium, and I come across, where's the helmet specifically? There's variations of it, but it's not the Kirby original. The Kirby original is what I ended up basing the Beefcake helmet off of. And the subtle differences that happened was he had these big blunt studs on top of the Beefcake helmet, and I went with a pointed kind of stegosaurus shaped or triangular shaped, thick metal plates. And I'm not finding the perfect illustration, and it's embarrassing. But you're getting the idea. You're getting the idea of seeing all this Hulk stuff. But it's not the Kirby Gladiator Hulk.